Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, Bakkt Warehouse launches deposits and withdrawals as planned. As the company tweeted on September the 6th, the Bakkt Warehouse has officially launched, guys. Deposits and withdrawals are active, and Bakkt is on the horizon, guys. We'll be diving into this a little bit later. Before we get into our news for today, though, we need to go ahead and do some technical analysis on Bitcoin, because Bitcoin looked like it was primed for a bullish breakout here to the upside, guys, and unfortunately, that did not happen. A few hours after we finished recording yesterday's video, Bitcoin broke to the downside. I want to analyze this trend and try to determine why this happened and where Bitcoin's going from here, because a lot of the bullishness that we were feeling has really been erased in the last 24 hours. So guys, we've got a lot to get to in today's video. If you do enjoy today's video, definitely consider dropping a like. It helps out the channel, and I would be very appreciative if you did it. But without much further ado, guys, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. As you guys probably know, Bitcoin is in a much longer term triangle pattern right here. Some people are drawing this as a descending triangle pattern with the support looking a little something like this. I'm not personally doing it like that because I think the bottoms are captured a lot better with an uptrend of support. But as we also know, Bitcoin has this downtrend of resistance last night, and what we saw yesterday was not a breakout of that, it was a test of that. If you remember to yesterday's video, I said that my entry point for a long would be $11,100. That's up here, and the reason that I put it up there was because we hadn't actually broken out yet. We were rallying to the resistance and we had not broken out yet, which is why my long never actually got triggered. Bitcoin instead rejected off of that, and we pulled back down to some support we found. The pattern that Bitcoin was in, guys, is very important here. A lot of people were debating whether or not Bitcoin was in an ascending triangle pattern that looks something like this, or if we come down to like the 15-minute chart, if in fact we were in a wedge. No matter what pattern we were in here, if we were in an ascending trading channel, a wedge, or if we were in fact in this ascending triangle pattern right here, whichever one of these patterns we were in, guys, what's important is that Bitcoin broke to the downside, and we didn't get volume up here because Bitcoin never broke resistance to the upside. Instead, what Bitcoin did is it broke to the downside. That's when we got our volume candle. And guys, you may notice that I don't talk about volume on this channel as much as some other YouTubers do. There's a reason for that, and that's because a lot of times, unless you're very quick, and by very quick I mean you're looking at like the minute to the 15-minute chart, a lot of times looking at volume is a historian's job. It's not an analyst's job. The reason I say that is because by the time all of this volume has been registered on the books, guys, all the trading has happened and the market's already moved. Where are you going to put your trade in? It's too late. But since we're looking at this with the benefit of hindsight and we're not actually trying to trade this, it is important to look at the volume to determine where the actual breakout was. We never had a bullish breakout. We had a bearish breakout that has pushed us down to levels of support. And really, guys, unfortunately, these levels of support that I'm going to show you are about the only bullish thing that we're seeing on Bitcoin right now. As you guys probably know, we were in a bear flag over here and we had some levels of resistance. In fact, if you extrapolate those out, Bitcoin has tested that perfectly as a level of support now. And of course, the level of support that I said we would probably go to if we pulled back, $10,250 right here, is exactly the level we went to. That's exactly the price target that we put in yesterday's video. I haven't even moved this level of support since yesterday. That just happens to be where Bitcoin went to. And guys, I'm still going to stick with what I said yesterday. There's still a chance that we bounce here and rally to the upside and have a bullish breakout if Bitcoin can stay above this level of support. But at this point, I'm not convinced that we're going to. I'll show you why. One of the reasons is that if we come out to the 4-hourly chart, we're going to see something very concerning. As you guys can see, we have our tops right here on the chart, but we also have our tops down here on the RSI. Guys, that's called classical RSI divergence. And that type of divergence is typically very bearish for the chart. Guys, I've talked about RSI divergence many times in the past, and every time I talk about it, I mention just how powerful it is. RSI divergence is remarkably powerful. When you have a high and then a higher high on the chart, and then a high and then a lower high on the RSI, you're almost always going to see a rejection. You're almost always going to see some kind of major reversal. And we couldn't call this RSI divergence in yesterday's video because we didn't know if this was actually the high or not, because we thought Bitcoin had a chance to break out. In fact, Bitcoin did not do that. Bitcoin broke to the downside. But that kind of leaves us wondering, guys, what happens now? Bitcoin's broken to the downside. Is Bitcoin going to get support here and move to the upside? Or is Bitcoin about to use what we have here, this price action right here, as a bear flag to move even lower? That's the question, guys. And honestly, it's a bit of a toss-up right now. I'm inclined to lean a little bit more towards the bear side, but I will also mention one thing, and that is that this blood fall right here happened very, very quickly. And if we look at the volume, there was quite a lot of volume, but there was no volume leading into this. I mean, volume was absolute trash leading into this pattern. We saw Bitcoin had this little consolidation pattern here on the 5-minute chart, and when Bitcoin broke bearish out of it, we absolutely tanked. Now, I'm not normally one to go calling and saying that whales did something, but this may have played some component. A lot of times when Bitcoin moves 4% in the span of 15 minutes, sometimes what that means is that someone went on exchange and dumped a lot of Bitcoin. If any of you want to scour through the blockchain chain and see if anything got moved, or scour through the order books and see if any trades happened, I'd be happy to hear about it in the comment section. That just doesn't look very organic to me. Normally, you don't see a crash this large following a triangle pattern this small. That's just normally not how that works. So maybe some whales were involved. I'm inclined to stick to our technical analysis. You guys know I don't like resulting to just saying, oh, whales did it because the TA didn't work out. But sometimes it is the case. No matter what happened, guys, we are left with the chart the way it is now, and we have to analyze what we have. And what we have is a major red candlestick right here. And we also have what very much looks like some kind of bear pennant. Be it a bear pennant, a bear flag, whatever it is, it's bearish, and we can use it as a price target. If we draw a trend line right here and we use this to extrapolate, this should see Bitcoin pulling back to around $9,847. That's below 10K. You guys will also know that I like to look at how Bitcoin bounces when it comes down to a level of support. Look at how fast Bitcoin fell to the downside. Look at how slow Bitcoin's moving to the upside. That's a very bad sign. Definitely not a point in favor of the bulls at this very moment. All of that said, guys, the MACD has also started to converge bearish on itself, as we can see down here. And if we check our Heikin-Ashi, guys, guess what? We had a spinning top yesterday and we just turned red. That's typically indicative of some kind of trend reversal. That's how Heikin-Ashi works, and normally Heikin-Ashi is right. So guys, based on my technical analysis, I'm not feeling very bullish on the market right now. When I was saying that Bitcoin might come down here to $10,250 and bounce from there, I wasn't talking about Bitcoin falling all the way down there in the span of 20 minutes, because that's a very bearish sign. I was talking about maybe Bitcoin trending down here over the course of a day or a day and a half and then bouncing. This right here, something like this, would have looked a lot more healthy than what we got. This is just ridiculously bearish, does not look good at all. So if you want my opinion, I'm leaning to the bearish case. And frankly, guys, even though Bitcoin does have a lot of support below it, we have this blue trend line right here, this one right here as well, and we also have our flat level of support at 10,250. That's all in the same place. If Bitcoin breaks below any of this and comes down to like $10,100, we're probably headed a whole lot lower. And guys, I also want to make it very clear, even though we're talking about bearishness, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Bitcoin is in a triangle pattern here, and as you guys know, Bitcoin likes to bounce around and oscillate in those triangle patterns. What's most important is how Bitcoin breaks out of this, whether it's bullish or bearish. It's not actually that important what Bitcoin does while it's still inside the pattern. One thing I do also want to mention, guys, is that if you draw this pattern out, the climax of this pattern is over here in mid-October at the latest. There are some ways you can draw it that put it over here at the end of September. So we're probably going to see some kind of major breakout coming in the next 3 to 4 weeks. We'll discuss that in a future video, though. Anyway, guys, moving on here, we're going to briefly touch on this. Bakkt Warehouse launches deposits and withdrawals as planned. The Bakkt Warehouse, a qualified custodian of crypto trading platform Bakkt, is now accepting customer Bitcoin deposits and withdrawals for the launch coming up on the 23rd. The launch of Bakkt Warehouse comes as the company prepares to roll out its platform for Bitcoin daily and monthly futures contracts in the United States on the 23rd of this month. The platform will enable 2 types of physically delivered Bitcoin futures with end-to-end regulated markets and custody as previously reported. Guys, we have been talking about Bakkt on this channel for over a year. I remember when this news broke. We're on the 4-hourly chart right now. Let's go to the daily chart and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Bitcoin has done all of this since this news broke. All of this, everything within this triangle, that's a triangle. Everything within this rectangle has happened since Bakkt was announced, guys. Bakkt was announced way over here in August of 2018. It's been over a year that we've been waiting for this. Bakkt being announced was the biggest bullish news story of 2018, and Bakkt launching will probably be the biggest bullish news story of 2019. In fact, it's so important that most chartists, including myself, have a vertical line or some kind of indication on their chart of when the launch is actually happening. We're going to be talking about Bakkt more and more as it comes up, but I did want to let you guys know that deposits and withdrawals are now activated. A lot of people were wondering whether or not Bakkt will actually launch on the day they said they're going to. Guys, it most certainly seems like it's finally happening. They have all the regulatory approval they need. There's really nothing standing in the way. They've been ready to launch for months. They just didn't have the approval that they needed. They've finally gotten that, so we should be seeing Bakkt go online in the near-term future. We'll be doing more videos on whether or not that's a good thing for the cryptocurrency market as it approaches. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for today's video. I do want to remind you guys that we are running that sale on the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, guys. If you use the coupon code September 2019 linked in the description down below, you're going to get $40 off at checkout, but it's actually more like you're getting $90 off at checkout, because when this coupon code expires, guys, the price of CT2A is going to be increasing once again from $199 to $249. And the reason for that is because I'm coming through here and spending a lot of time revamping the entire course. I'm re-recording every single one of these videos, adding even more information. We're adding even more videos. Right now, there are 34 videos on the channel. By this time next month, there should be nearly 40. There is a lot of new content coming to CT2A, and every single person who's already a member of CT2A is getting all of that content for free. So if you want to join today with a discount price of $159 and get access to all current and all future content so that you don't ever have to pay a higher price in the future, I highly encourage you guys to join CT2A within the next week or so. I know you're going to be happy that you did. If you have any reservations about what this course is, if you have any questions about what CT2A is, feel free to email me at cryptojeb@gmail.com. If you have any reservations about joining and you don't think it's going to be worth your money, join the Discord server down below and talk to our students who have actually gone through CT2A and are getting value out of the course every single day. You can see what they have to say. Guys, I don't want you to spend your money on something if you're not comfortable doing it. If you're not comfortable buying CT2A, don't do it. But I think if you do, you're going to be very happy that you did. So join us in the Discord server down below, see what people think, and make up your mind for yourself. But anyway, guys, that is pretty much going to do it for today's video. I do hope you guys did enjoy today's video. I think we got a lot done in the technical analysis portion. Tell me in the comment section down below what you think. But anyway, guys, like I said, that is pretty much going to wrap it up for today's video. I do want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching as always. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.